Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment. I'm Lenora, and we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment. And this is our 100th episode. Yeah. Woo, applause.
Thank you. We'll be signing autographs.
Yes, selling T-shirts, signing autographs. If you want a tattoo with our name on it,
we can make our autograph your tattoo.
Exactly. I mean, just let us know. We are here for it.
Absolutely.
So yes. But yeah, so thank you all for those who've been with us from the beginning, those who have come in at some point during and have hung out with us.
The middle,
all of it. We appreciate you all so much, and just the feedback that we've gotten from people that we know, people who've communicated or caught up, and also be sure to follow our TikTok because we have Sestra-Tainment on TikTok, and we're going to start putting more content out there because it's just not too much content out there right now, but we're working on it. So more to come. So, and our YouTube page too, because we do snacks. We got to get some more snacks and do more snacks.
Yeah, the Mexican snacks.
Yeah, we got some Mexican candy. I'm just trying not to become diabetic, so we got to break that down slowly.
Yeah, is it all candies? No snacks?
I think it's just candies, but I found a box that's called Universal Yum Box or something like that.
That's where the one that I got from.
No, this one's different then. It's a blue and white box only.
Okay, but I think it was the Yum was the name of the company.
Oh, okay. So this one is where you do a monthly subscription.
Oh, and it just sends you stuff.
Different boxes from different places.
I wonder if we could just get people on TikTok to ship us their stuff, because how they have like the big rooms with all the crazy stuff from
good snacks and stuff, and then you can order them and have them come. But the thing is that those cost so much in shipping.
Oh,
that's the problem. So at least this box we can do. But anyway, I digress. We are very excited to have you with us on our 100th episode. And sis, I'm going to turn it over to you because you are first.
Okay, so we're going to talk about it now, or we're going to talk about it later?
We're going to talk about it now.
All right, let's get into it. Katt Williams.
We got to give the people what they want.
Katt Williams woke up and chose violence.
He in 2024.
It was like, you know what? I think that 2024 is going to be the year that I piss everybody off, and I call them out their name and call like it's everything. He said Oprah was next. Yeah, that's what I heard. He said Oprah was next.
Oprah's next. Like, okay. He's going after everybody.
Okay. He's Hey, but you know what? It could be because of these Epstein tapes.
Maybe.
Epstein names and stuff like that. Maybe he's just like, look, the names are coming out anyway, so I just go ahead and start.
Yeah.
All right, so Katt Williams was talking to Shannon Sharp on Club Shay podcast and was talking about, Shannon Sharp would just ask him some questions about some stuff and getting his opinion on things, but he definitely went in on Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Well, and Ricky Smiley.
Oh, yeah.
Those two. Cedric. It was kind of all three.
Well, Cedric, he was just like,
upset
Cedric
about
stole that joke, but then also it was something like he said that something about...
He couldn't get his own show.
Yeah.
And, nobody was going to pay to have him when he has, whatever. So, he's not a movie star because he didn't want to be, or maybe that was Steve. I can't remember. He talked about so many people.
But I mean, he talks about some things, and people are confirming these things. Mark Curry has been on social media, be like, Katt said it, but I did it. He stole my stuff.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you looked at it, he had Hanging with Mr. Cooper, which was about a principal, and then a few years later was the Steve Harvey show with him being a principal. So, I mean,
you don't steal stuff.
It was happening right under our noses. It's just like, are you paying attention?
Exactly.
That's
exactly. So some of the things that he had talked about. So the one thing was the Mark Curry stealing. Steve Harvey stealing Mark Curry's TV show, but then he also talks about how Bernie Mac, the Kings of Comedy, once Bernie Mac passed away, he said they talked about him like a dog, like he was nothing and he wasn't the funniest and everything and stuff like that. So he said that's why I didn't become
they were trying to get him, he said, to be the fourth king.
And he was like, no, y'all talking down. And you know what's so crazy? And you know what's so crazy? You remember, what's her name? What's her name? on The View.
Cheryl Underwood?
Yes. Remember when she was talking about, she was supposed to be on the Kings of Comedy.
She was the Queens of Comedy.
And she said she got into the
phone call
that
nobody knew she was on.
No, because
and they talked about her like a dog.
Yep. And she was like, yeah, that's it. And I believe that.
Oh, yeah. You have to believe it because nobody came out and said anything otherwise.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were like, oops, our bad. And they didn't even know she was on it till that day that she talked about it. So
she was like, they still don't know to this day.
To this day until now. Yeah, exactly.
And I ain't hear Monique say nothing about that.
No.
I don't know. Monique, she be going back and forth sometimes with me. Sometimes I'm like, I like Monique. And then sometimes I'm like,
but that was who? Some more Adele Givens. And who else?
I can't remember the other lady's name.
Yeah.
And the lady with the wig.
The wig that she would pull off. Yeah.
She is funny,
whatever.
And I've really never seen her on anything.
Yeah.
Either.
She was on she was on Comic View.
So we didn't have cable and power.
No, but I'm just saying that she was in Comic View.
I never saw her. So, yeah. But he not only does he say this stuff, but he has receipts. He has receipts for everything. I'm gonna start calling him Lenora.
I do have receipts, y'all. I mean, shout out Toby and Janella. Y'all know I have receipts for everything.
Yes. So, and some of the things that he has talked about, other comedians have been like, yeah, Steve Harvey's been bald. What are you talking about? That was a hairpiece. Yeah. And even another comedian, God, I can't think of his name, but he also was like, yo, he said that Steve Harvey was not a nice person. Like he said that every time that he was working with him, he was like somebody came and was like, hey man, like, I thanks for letting me come to your show. He's like, yeah, all right, cool, you can leave now. It's like, what? Like he's just not that good. But so one of the comedians that were talking about it, oh my God, I had to save it because it was so good. Okay, so let's see if I can find it. Ooh, that's too much. Let's not play that one. But
who is the person?
I can't remember his name. This was it. Oh, Corey Holcomb.
Okay.
Corey Holcomb talks about him. Let me see.
Do we know if if all of his stuff has profanity in it?
Yeah, I think it does. Okay. I mean, it's Corey
what was
Holcomb.
He saying though?
But he was basically saying how, so you know how Katt Williams was talking about when he was on, what was it, Detroit? He was in Detroit and did the competition between him and Steve Harvey, who was going to be the king of comedy.
Okay.
Comedy king or whatever.
Okay,
whatever.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about that. It was like, Steve Harvey is not a funny person, blah, 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 blah. But then Corey Holcomb was like, yeah, you remember that time that Katt Williams shut down Steve Harvey because he thought he was funny? Steve Harvey thought he was funny, but he's really going out here stealing all these people's jokes, stole my jokes, stole this person's joke, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he's going off about that. And then he said, yeah, because when he was standing up there, you could see a little spot. And one girl said, yeah, I thought he had a skin-colored yarmulke on.
Oh, gosh, not a skin-colored yarmulke.
A skin yarmulke. But then they said after that, then he came out and was like bald. But his hairline was way too well to be,
Yeah, that was, it looked fake.
The one about Cedric the Entertainer taking his joke. Okay. TikTok moves fast, okay? Because look,
the internet wins every time.
Every time. So I do have the video, and they are doing the exact same thing.
Yes, exactly. So the difference is, like he said, he was saying that he was in a car, and Cedric was saying he was in a spaceship.
Wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. Okay. Gas being too high.
Making life decisions.
Okay. So this is him. So he's talking about, you go to the gas station, gas is so high. He was like, back in the day, you used to be able to put $15 down and then hit the little thing and then walk around your car, clean it out, clean your windshield and everything. Yeah. He's like, now $15, as soon as you hit it go clink.
Yeah, it's like done.
Right. Then later on, what happens?
You go in there, bring me a wine cooler.
Oh, wait.
Bring me you went down too far.
Nozzle in there and hit it. Be sitting there talking, be on your phone. Hey, what's happening?
Same exact thing.
Stealing the jokes.
But that Katt Williams joke was old. And now this is Steve Harvey being newer doing it.
Oh yeah, because everything, like
Steve
even when Steve was telling some story about having been homeless or whatever, that was on his Steve Harvey TV show that he's had, like his talk show. But it was a story that Katt Williams told about being homeless. So he's always taking other people's material. It sounds like.
Yeah, but a lot of people are saying that like he's just not a good person. Also, another thing that happened, which I thought was kind of funny, but not. But he talks about how Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and who else was it? And D.L. Hughley. Yeah. He talks about them, but he says DL is a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. So what I had put down as my notes, Cliff Notes. You ready? Because everybody's like, can I get the Cliff Notes? It's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
It's worth it. It is worth every second.
But a lot of people need the Cliff Notes, right? So here we go. Cliff Notes. Steve, Ricky, Cedric, Kevin Hart, Faison, Katt. Don't mess with those cats.
Hey, there you go. That's right.
There
I like that. I like that.
All right. And they all got light-skinned dead wives.
Yeah. Light-skinned
dead
wives.
That.
Yeah.
He said, Now, I don't know why you talk about their face, but he said they had light-skinned wives. So I'm not going to mess with that. He respects Dave Chappelle, D.L. Hughley, Nick Cannon, Mark Curry, and some of the new comics like Country Wayne and Just Hilarious, to name a few.
Yep.
He said Luda is in the Illuminati and Katt didn't join.
Yep.
He
said they had to pick one or the other.
They had to pick one or the other. And he got another light-skinned wife. Because he said there were 7 people with a light-skinned wife.
He was like, and who got, he said he got
that you never see and they never talk on TV, on camera.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. He's been to jail 30 times, but no convictions. So he said he got arrested, I think, twice in one day or something.
Yeah, because he said it's because he said it's things I like to do. And I know that if I go to another state, I can't do those things. Well, guess what? If you ask me, officer, I do have my weed on me, and I do have my gun on me.
Right. And therefore, and he's going to have his gun on him because he's like, I need it for protection.
Yeah.
He does not like not Wanda Sykes. He was okay with Wanda Sykes. He's upset about Wanda Smith, and that's a whole thing that you can go down a rabbit hole with, too, of him going on her show. She said it was going to be about one thing, then everything she said she wasn't going to bring up, she did bring up, and then he drug her through the show to the point that, then when he sees her at a comedy club, after the show, her husband supposedly follows him with a gun, puts it in his face, the whole 9 yards. So there's that. Did it. So that's what he's saying. He's like, there's just too much going on with Diddy. It's too many parties he's had. It's too many people
Didn't he talk about TD Jakes too?
He did talk about TD Jakes. He talked about how different people were, like guys were making out at P. Diddy parties. And things of that nature. He says he has 10 children, which I didn't know he had 10 because he said 5 girls and 5 boys. But
he's adopted
that, and he's adopted 7 or 8 of them. So something like that. And so those were some of the Cliff Notes that I took.
And he wanted to be God's best friend.
He wants to be God's best friend.
No, he wanted to.
He wanted to be God's best friend. He left home at 13. He's lived in different states. He just happenstanced upon comedy, but he used to speak in front of large crowds even as a 5-year-old, I guess through the church that he grew up in because his family was very religious, and that he likes the company of women. So he said that basically anytime there's anything that is going on in his life, as opposed to some of these people have an entourage, like the TV show, Entourage of Men. He's like, I'm going to have an entourage of women.
Yeah, he said, I have a person who rolls my blunts for me.
Right.
And he was like, and I like women.
Yeah, I want women spit.
Yeah, I want women spit.
Licking it and rolling it up. Whereas, I guess he's like, why would I be having a guy, roll my blunts for me? So
that is
it's interesting dynamic. Good. He talks about
my God, when he goes into how he got in his contract, I am not going to work with Ricky Smiley unless he's wearing a dress.
Yeah.
I cracked up
Yes.
laughing.
Oh yeah, because we didn't talk about why he was upset at Ricky.
Also,
Smiley.
I'm at work listening to this, so I'm cracking up laughing, and people are like, "What's wrong with
Yeah,
you?"
why is she over there? Hilarious.
But, oh my god.
But yeah, so he was upset at Ricky because Ricky said that he was supposed to be Magic Mike.
Yeah,
Was it Magic Mike?
no. He was
Somebody
supposed to
Mike.
be Money
Not
Mike.
Money Mike. I'm like, Magic Mike is a whole.
But Cat Williams made sense. He was like, oh, so you trying to tell me that? But see, also, so he said a couple of things that made sense. So he was like, so you trying to tell me that there was a Santa suit made for me? Because I ain't seen one.
Right, and he's like, and I'm too tiny and
He's
too
so
small.
tiny,
I've been
yes,
145 my whole life, so why would I be Santa?
He was like, so I couldn't do that. He was like, and like, he said, nobody in the cast told me that I was supposed to be Santa.
Right.
And then he said, well, Santa actually wasn't even supposed to, like, he was just a crackhead. He's like, Ricky can play what he's good at. Crackheads. He said.
Oh, I thought he said women. I didn't remember him saying that he was good at playing crackheads.
He said that
I remembered him saying that they would play women well.
Yeah, him and Tyler Perry
could put on the dress and play
that,
women.
Yes, that's where they act the best at. And I don't disagree. I do agree.
I don't know if I've seen anything that Ricky Smiley's been in. So there's that. Because I haven't even watched that. What was that, Friday After Next or the something? I don't know if I've even.
But
watched
yeah,
that.
but I mean, yeah, that's just true though.
But the thing is you would have Ice Cube who could, confirm that yes, he was supposed to play this
but
role.
ain't nobody ever said
yes, he is. but he could still come out and agree, and just say, yeah, he wrote basically all the words to that. So how could it be anybody else who would be in that?
Exactly.
And oh, by the way, I did ask him to help write the next Friday.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him in dresses.
Who?
Cat Williams.
Oh, you don't know the whole thing about dresses?
Dress.
Okay, let me fill you in on the whole thing about dresses. So the whole thing about dresses is that in order for you to have a multi-million-dollar career as a comic, you have to put on a dress as a black man. That is the whole thing. So Dave Chappelle went on Oprah a long time ago, like after...
Really?
After I'm just going to tell you the whole story. So after he ended up going on his, hiatus, going to Africa and all of that, which I found out more about that he was supposed to actually earn $500 million. He ended up turning down $50 million and people thought he was crazy because you're turning down $50 million. He was like, no, the purpose is I was supposed to have $500 million. So why would I do that? Like, I'm not turning down 50. I need what I deserve, which is less than, you're trying to give me 10% of what I should be having. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, he went on Oprah and was like, I'm just trying to understand why they always have to have a black comic in a dress in order for them to be funny. Martin Lawrence, Cedric the Entertainer, Kevin Hart on Saturday Night Live. It was like he was just naming. I mean, different people have named all the people who you have to put on a dress. If you put on a dress, then you will get the crossover effect. You will get the appeal of being that person. Now, Steve, they said, didn't want to put on a dress, so he brought Cedric onto the show so that Cedric could put on the dress, so that way it's like, well, I'm not going to do it, but I'm still going to meet the needs that you have. Let me see if somebody else will do it. So Ricky Smiley has done it, and Katt is like, I'm not going to put on a dress. Yeah. Dave Chappelle was like, I'm not going to put on a dress. Exactly. So then at one point, they even asked Kevin Hart, are you going to put on a dress? Because they all have this dress thing that they just seem to make black comics do. And he just said, look, I have morals. I have, how I feel about certain things. I don't foresee, I guess. He didn't really come out and just say no. He just said, I don't foresee it. But then he ended up doing it on SNL.
Say, I make my own decisions.
Right, exactly.
And so like, that wasn't a decision before they brought it to you.
Right. So it becomes this thing of, is that a part of the crossover Illuminati thing in order for you to get that level of prestige, do you have to do certain things because people ask you to do them? And then once you do that, now you're over on the other side. I mean, I think they've even had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson put on a dress. Like, everybody's been put on dresses. So it's like, why is it? Right. So why do you have to consistently have people of color in order for them to be successful? Because they don't typically have the success until after the dress. Yeah. So that is the mentality and why he is so consistent on that.
Didn't know that. But
it's just like now everybody is talking about how every TV show has to have a gay black couple in it.
Oh.
If you look at it, almost every show, not every show, but a whole lot of shows have a gay black couple in it. Typically 2 men that are in a particular show.
So they're just like, hey, we're not just going to get they're literally like, all right, we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get somebody gay, get somebody black, put them in the cast.
I guess. Yeah, you're right. Maybe
It's
hit
still
two birds with
two
one
birds,
stone.
yeah.
Yep. But that's one of the things that I think people are, recognizing is that, as soon as you start watching a show, all of a sudden, and it may not necessarily be, typically it's black, but it could be that one's Asian or one's, Hispanic or something. But typically it's that people of color are playing a gay role. And it could be just for that fact of Hollywood. Let's just get two birds with one stone as opposed to having a Caucasian gay couple and then having just a black couple too or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. We're being as controversial as Katt at this point. It's all truth of what is being talked about at this time. So it's not what I'm saying is my opinion. I'm just saying that it's what is being talked about.
Exactly. Yeah. But Katt Williams makes up a lot of things. Makes a lot of things. He made a lot of sense in the things that he was saying when he was talking about how Martin Lawrence was like, "Hey man, I got a movie for you."
He was down.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, man, I got you. You my brother. I got you." And he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Get Brandon T. Jackson to do it."
Right, because it was a dress.
Yeah. And he went ahead and Brandon T. Jackson did it. And then Brandon T. Jackson was in an interview. Was like, "Yeah, Katt Williams was like, don't put on no dress." And then it was like, "Well, he want to get up there, so go ahead, give it to him. He'll put on a dress." He said he would do it. It's just nuts. It's crazy.
And I think it depends too, because I didn't know who that guy was when he mentioned him. I had to Google him when Katt brought him up. I think that he probably got a teeny degree of success from after doing that. But I don't think that he went over to that next level. But it could be his acting skills too, because Katt said, if Cedric's not a good actor, you can't fake a good actor. You can't fake that Earthquake could be a good actor in a whole bunch of movies, and like he said, because he was illiterate, which I was like,
read the cards.
And I'm just like, really? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe
it might not be that he was illiterate, but he might just have just good at reading.
Yeah, could be not good at reading, or have something. Like, could be dyslexic. You never know.
Yeah,
like, it could make it so that somebody is more challenged with reading cue cards or even being able to memorize information.
Yeah, that's very true. But another thing that he had said was he was talking about, oh my God, I just lost it. I just had it and I lost it.
Oh, no. Okay, it was a whole lot.
That was a lot.
He talked about Kanye.
Yeah. He talked about Kanye.
And he talked about Kim.
But I forgot about that. He did say, he called the kid,
he just said,
if it walks like a horse, it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, call it a duck. So
that's what he said.
I guess she was out there ducking.
Oh, goodness.
But the thing about who was the first person that you said just now?
Who? Earthquake?
Yeah, no. Not Earthquake. Kanye.
Oh, Kanye.
So the thing about Kanye, when he was asked about it, he was just like I don't understand why people, like, he makes sense, and I've heard other people say this before. It was like, I don't understand why people, if you know that he has problems, why do you still allow him? Why do you just sit back and watch him do this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Which I was like, man, that is sad. I do like that he talks about how him adopting the kids, how he was just like, he was saying basically that he adopted the kids because I guess he wanted to give them a better life, but he's like, but if there is a heaven or a hell, I would be in heaven. I adopted 7 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something
well,
like
and I think that he's like, he's done a lot of good deeds, right?
Oh yeah,
he's like, he's given money to people and never brought it to anybody's attention.
But he didn't even do it himself. He'll get somebody else to give you the money.
Right, exactly. He adopted these kids because he wanted to give them a better life, and it's kind of based on his own childhood. Childhood trauma, I guess you could say. He also is extremely generous in regards to how he helped Melba Moore get her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that a lot of people didn't know about until probably she was getting inducted, and then said, hey, by the way. And he said that if she couldn't afford it and she really deserved it, why are you trying to give me a star? She has been around forever. Let's help her to get her star. So it's certain things that he did. I will say that I never really knew much. I mean, I knew who Katt Williams was. I didn't know much about Katt Williams. Even while I was watching it, I was just like, well, everybody say he cray. Like, he's just, this guy goes off the cuff and just tries to just say things for the sake of the shock value, like Howard Stern or something like that, exactly. And I was just like, okay, let me just watch this and see. And when I tell you, and I don't laugh at comedians.
Oh yeah, I heard you laughing. I was like, what's she laughing at?
I do not laugh at comedians. But during that 2 hours and 45 minutes, I probably busted out.
Oh, you were loud.
In laughter at least 5 times.
Oh yeah, I counted.
At least 5 times.
It was 6.
It was 6?
It was
Okay,
6. I counted, yeah.
But yeah, so and I don't laugh. So now would I laugh at his comedy show? I have no idea. I've never seen one of his
I think you would laugh at
specials.
his comedy show because like the stuff that he says, he tells it kind of like a story and it's not just joke.
Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
The way that he says it,
The
like a story.
storyteller. Like they say, he's a storyteller.
He's a storyteller,
for sure.
but he leads it up and then he says all the things that you think of.
Yeah. But I have gone down the Katt Williams rabbit hole. I've seen him now on Wild 'N Out. I've seen, some of his previous things from Comic View. I've seen some clips from other stuff. So I was just like, okay, because I went into it skeptical, like, oh boy, what's he, if it's so salacious, what is he talking about and how much of it is true? And I left thinking that, I would dare to say that of all these years now, knowing that he has said things and that nobody has challenged him and nobody has sued him and nobody has said it's been slander and nobody has said it's liable. Right. No defamation of character suits have come his way. That probably 98% of it is true. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you can read 3,000 books in 1 year. That part,
well, I don't know because he said he's
50 something books a week.
But he said he was super smart, so you know.
I mean, yeah.
Did he say? Oh, he did say.
He said 3,000 books a year he was reading. Now that part,
I do that math
I don't know.
Figure it out.
I already did 57 books a week.
57 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
is and he was young. Like he was like I was 6, I was 5, I was whatever, And so, but being able to read at that level, I mean, somebody had to have known him to be able to say, no, that's not true. He wasn't reading at that level. Yeah. He can't speak more than one language.
Exactly,
he can't do it. He didn't leave home at 13, all those kind of things. So if that's the case, I'm sure people would have come out and said that.
Prince were good friends. Another thing, but I'll just drop the topic after this. But another thing that I didn't know that he did help out Nick Cannon.
Yeah,
with Wild 'N Out.
Yeah, the reboot.
And because I remember I was like, why is Katt Williams on Wild 'N Out?
Yeah, and he's like, I've known him since he was so young.
He said, I've known him since he was 13.
Yeah. And he
said,
values him and his
Hollywood.
friendship.
So he said, exactly. He values him.
That's what you were probably going to talk about. Kong, whatever his name is.
Yes, that's what it was.
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors, man. God, I knew it. It's Jonathan Majors. He talked about Jonathan Majors, and what he said is so true. So he was like, thank God for making good and that black woman and saving that slave man. But also I will say that when he said the things that he said, it made so much sense because he said, so you trying to tell me that he's supposed to be one of the sexiest men alive, but
I never understood that.
And then she was like, but then all of the history tells you that if you have a flat nose, a flat wide nose, that's ugly. If you got this big lips, that's ugly. So why all of a sudden is he?
When he said that part, I was like, Katt, you were onto something because I have heard so many women say, oh my God, he's so sexy, he's so cute, he's so whatever. Okay. And I kept saying to them,
I can understand sexy because sexy.
I don't even understand that.
No, but see, sexy doesn't have anything to do with your looks. It
could be your swagger, your whatever.
Yes.
The only time I would say that, okay, maybe I would have thought, okay, he's slightly sexy was in Lovecraft Country. Okay. Outside of that, it is nothing that he has been in. It is nothing that I've seen him in when he was as a cowboy on the back of a horse, when he was a king, a conqueror, and that's not. No, absolutely not. I never thought he was cute. I never thought anything. And I was hearing people say, "Oh, he's so cute. He's this, he's that," and I'm like, "Where?" But I also feel the same way about Michael B. Jordan. So I'm just like, "Where?"
Michael B. Jordan. I'm just I think Michael B. Jordan.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. Because Michael B. Jordan reminds me of a chipmunk. Is that wrong?
You know why? It's because his lips and everything are so big. His lips are big, so it makes
his jaws and everything
pop out. Yeah, it makes it pop out more.
I've not seen anything cute about him other than I could cuddle him because he's like a chipmunk, But he's just a cutie, little chipmunk. So I would say, cutie, cute and adorable, precious, but not cute. You know what I mean?
Not fine.
No, not fine. But I mean, other people. Shout out Janella, thinks he's fine. So to each its own. But I do agree that
Take
as
away
they
the
tell
money
you,
and then see how
as they
it-
tell you things, then that's when you start to, all of a sudden people start drinking the Kool-Aid and
Yeah,
they start
that's
believing
very true.
that
That is very
he
true.
is a sexy person
Yeah.
and he was on GQ
Yeah.
and he was doing this and he's
Yeah,
got this photo
exactly.
shoot in Vogue and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, he ain't cute.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
anyway.
like, but then what he said about that did make sense because you guys think about it, like, and what you're saying makes sense because, like, that's just been happening with everything. Like, everybody just jumps on the bandwagon.
Right.
Starbucks is not that good. Dunkin' Donuts is not that good.
Yeah,
I haven't. Does Dunkin' Donuts still make donuts?
They make donuts.
They still do.
I don't know who eats their donuts,
Yeah.
but they make donuts. They make breakfast. They make coffee.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
They make breakfast sandwiches and stuff like that. I'm like, wait, they still do they just call it Dunkin' now. It's not Dunkin' Donuts. It's just Dunkin', right?
I don't know. I feel like it's still a donut in there, but it could be just
I
a
thought it was just
It
Dunkin'.
could be just Dunkin'. I don't know.
Dunkin with an apostrophe. That's what I thought it was. Just Dunkin'. Go to Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
yeah. The signage just says Dunkin'. It says Dunkin' Donuts on their website, but then it does say quote unquote Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I figure. Anyway.
But yeah, it is like that. You know, everybody. It's just everybody hops on what everybody else wants. Everybody walking around with these big tail Stanley cups.
Yeah.
It was just Yeti cool. It was just Yetis. Like 3 years ago, it was Yeti cups.
Yeah. And Stanley's been around, by the way,
Yeah.
saw a story on that today.
Oh, with the
over
guy?
100 years. No, it's been over 100 years that they've been around, probably like 120 or something like that. And that they were solely for outdoor construction workers
Yes.
and people in the woods and stuff
Yes.
like that. And then one mommy blogger, about 2 years ago or so, 3, maybe 4, I don't know. Anyway, a little while ago, she came out and said, oh my gosh, these cups are great because they keep everything so cool for so long. You know, that was her whole thing. And so all of a sudden they said, aha, great idea. Why don't we make these in more pastel colors? Why don't we make
So
these
women can
prettier
get them,
so
yeah.
that way women will want them? And then women started accessorizing them.
Oh my God.
So then it became, oh, I can put my name on it. Oh, I can put the little tops on it.
I
Oh, I
put
can
the
put a
top on
little
my
chain
straw.
on it. I can do this. I can do that.
I can
and
bedazzle
and they
it.
went from a $73 million company to a $730 million
Okay,
company.
so we got to figure out what the next new thing is so we can buy stock in that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then just keep waiting for the next new things to come
Right.
up and then just buy stock in
Yeah.
it. As soon as you see what's her name, Kim Kardashian or something, go buy stock in it because everybody and their mama is going to want to go and
probably
buy
wanna
stuff.
go buy
wanna
it.
buy
Her,
stuff.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift or somebody.
Yeah, anybody. Beyonce and Taylor Swift, somebody,
But the
yeah.
thing is too, that they were talking about with those Stanley Cups is that people are now camping out for them. And literally, like, it's Black Friday, so like they're coming out with limited edition ones. So people are outside of Starbucks, standing in a line, waiting to get
Maybe
the
I should
cups and
still
stuff.
get
And
Stanley
kids were so excited. They were showing all of these kids that are like 10 years old who were so like screaming and yelling and excited this past Christmas because they got a Stanley. And they're expensive. They're like $40 to $60
Yeah,
for a Stanley
but
cup.
so I saw a video of
That's
the
why
guy.
you get them from Five Below.
Exactly.
For cheap.
Yeah, for cheap. If it don't keep it cold that
Or
long. that's
Temu.
fine. Yeah, if it's cold for 3 hours, I'm good with that. I don't have to be 12.
No, it's
I don't need it to be 12 hours.
But
It's
even
gonna be gone by
no,
then.
trust me. I got a Temu one.
Yeah.
12 hours.
Oh, see, look.
The next day,
And
I'm
it's
drinking
so-
clinka clinka clinka.
I see, yeah.
So you know.
But
I'm
there
good.
was a TikToker who was like, "Can somebody please get my dad a new Stanley Cup? He's had this one." He was like, "I've had this for 25 years." Mm-hmm. And if you look at it, he does construction.
You can tell, yeah.
So you can tell it, and it has the metal handle for it. It's like a strip that goes around it to hold the metal handle. on
Okay,
there.
got it.
And then it's just like a cylinder.
Oh, okay.
And then
so
that's
it
it.
slips in it. Okay, got
No,
it.
it doesn't slip in it.
But it
sits
looks
in-
like
it looks like it
sits-
could. Yeah,
slips in it.
and
yeah.
that is it.
Yep.
And now people are going nuts over these construction cups.
Yep. Pretty
Construction
much. And once that one was in the fire, you saw that, right? Where the
yeah,
woman's
her whole car
caught
burned,
on
yeah.
fire and burned, and the cup still was there, so totally solid. And oh, by the way, the ice was still
Yeah,
in it
yeah.
after and the car was demolished.
yeah,
Then
car
they
was
bought her a
gone.
new car, so that was nice.
Yeah, that
of
was
them.
nice of them.
So,
But
yeah.
just get that was a
Okay.
little rant. But
We
anyway,
have gone down. I mean, so we
Cat
can't.
Williams started off.
We can't start this as only Cat Williams. It's almost like Cat
Yeah.
Williams and Stanley combined, probably. Like
Yeah,
it's
right,
a twofer for that
Yeah.
one. So, but anyway, I digress. All right. 30-something minutes in. Let's
God,
talk
yeah.
about. But you know
but
what?
You had to.
Cat was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
How can you just spend 15 seconds
You can't.
talking about it? It was way too much content. So
Yeah.
there you go. All right. I am going to talk about a TV show that I watched on Hulu. But I think it's on a British network initially, but of course I don't have access to whatever network it is. So now it's shown up on Hulu, and actually somebody says Disney Plus in the UK. That's what it is. But it's a UK show called Culprits.
Culprits. Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Oh,
is it good? I haven't started watching it. I love that lady. She's a great actress.
Love this show.
The lead character.
Oh my gosh. So you have Jonathan Stewart Jarrett as playing the main character. Excuse me. His name is Joe. And then you have Gemma Adderton, who plays Diane, and she's like oh gosh, what do you want to call her? She's like actually, I think they call her like the boss or the professor of the mind or the brain or something like that. Yeah. She's the brain of the operation, right? You have Naima Alger. She's like a marksman, sharpshooter, whatever. You have Kirby. Kirby, I didn't know. She doesn't have a last name. Kirby is a British actress, African-American, who has been on The Good Place, who's been in Why Women Kill on Paramount. Like, she's been in a lot of different things. So when I saw her, I was like, I know her from somewhere, but I didn't know where. You have also you have Kevin Vidal. You have Ned Dehaney. You have a bunch of different people who are in here. Tara Abood. So long story short, Culprits is about a guy named Joe. And he basically has lived an interesting life. It starts off with him actually being in a situation where he's taking kids to school. He's doing all this stuff. He's just doing his little daddy routine, right? Oh, black gay couple. Interesting enough, in a new show. So therefore, he actually is dropping off the kids at school. He's going to do something to kind of market a business that he wants to open. And he sees on the county board, like the county administrator's office, they have a board, and a bulletin board is saying that there's a construction project that's taking place. And so therefore they're building a new road through a particular area. And he looks at it and he looks devastated. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, his business must be around a bypass, so he's trying to open this business. But yet there's a bypass of why, now if I open my shop over here, nobody's going to come down this little road. They're all going to go through this new construction road, and now I'm going to lose out on my money. That's where I thought it was going. Well, it was not.
Dead body?
So, no. So what happens is that he ends up at the middle of the night getting out of the bed with his partner. He goes out, he gets in the car, he drives to where the construction's taking place, and he's just looking. And he's like, oh my gosh, looking through the little chained fence and stuff. And it's just like, this is going to be interesting. So he climbs the fence. He goes in. He finds a tree. He goes up into the tree. And he pulls out a fake top to the tree, or on a ledge of a tree or whatever. Wow. And he ends up pulling out the heaviest bag you have ever seen in your entire life. And you're like, what in the world is in that bag?
He's struggling.
He's struggling. It is huge, bigger than 3 duffel bags. It's a big camp bag. Yeah. Like you're going to have it in a camper, or you'd have your tent in this bag, So he pulls it out, he drops it down. He's got all this drama that's happening with him trying to get this bag out and drag it. And oh, by the way, now he's trying to pull it over the fence because he had to get over the fence. So how do you get a bag that heavy over the fence? Now a car is coming. He's trying to hide, and he's laying down on the ground, and all this stuff. He gets in his car. He's leaving. He's sitting at an intersection. This is all in the first few minutes, so I'm not spoiling a lot. But anyway, he's sitting at an intersection, and all of a sudden, he sees this woman not paying attention as she's getting ready to just plow through the intersection. And this other car is also driving fast through the intersection. So therefore, they have a collision.
Okay.
When they have the collision, what happens? It ends up hitting his car by accident. With him in this huge duffel bag, and heavy duffel bag in the back. So then he's like, oh my God, let me get out the car. Ma'am, are you okay? She looks like she could be dead. She just bloody and everything, The car that hit her was this nice fancy Mercedes or something. Pulls off, leaves the scene. So he's like, oh my gosh, hey. So he's trying to get the license plate, all of that. He's like, I can't have the cops come here with me in this big freaking duffel bag that they're probably going to tow my car, impound it, whatever. I'm a part of an accident. So he takes the bag out, but you actually get to see inside the bag. It is tons and tons and tons of money, millions of British pounds or whatever of money, right? And so you're just like, oh my gosh, like how in the world did he get all this money? Like
Yeah.
he's living an average life with his boo and these kids. Like how does he have all of this money? So then he goes and he gets the bright idea, let me throw it in a dumpster. So that way I can have it in the dumpster. I'll do whatever I need to do for the cops, tell them my statement. As soon as they leave, then I'll grab the money out of the dumpster. I'll get in an Uber or whatever. I'll take off. Well, when the cops come, they want to take him downtown. They want to ask him a bunch more questions. They have this, they have that. So by the time he gets out of the police precinct, he goes back to the dumpster. Mm-hmm. It is empty.
Oh, God, why would you go to the dumpster?
So he is like,
I don't know.
Oh my God.
This is in UK. In the UK.
In the UK.
So I don't know what their laws are.
No, this is in America. This is in America.
Oh,
yeah, he's in
they
Seattle, Washington.
They can't search my car.
I don't know. I think he was just nervous because it was just too much going on. And they did impound his car though. So that was the interesting thing. So anyway, and I mean, for the effect of the show. Yes. So anyway, he ends up like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So he hears the truck. Doop, 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 all their noises, all their stuff, them lifting and it's rattling up the cans of stuff. So he's like, oh my God, I got to run and get it. So he runs up, gets behind the truck somehow because they had the arm that was lifting everything. So the person doesn't necessarily need to be outside of it or whatever. So he jumps in to the trash and he's searching through the trash just looking for his bag of money. I mean, it's millions of dollars. He got to find it. You look, your face is like, what in the world?
But you're going to get crushed.
So that's what they should
follow the truck.
Wait. Okay, so then he ends up getting in there. Of course, they dump a new one in there. It's all on top of me. Looks disgusting. And then the thing starts pushing everything back. So he's moving as close as he can to the wall, like so he doesn't get crushed. And then, he ends up finding, searching, finally finds the bag. Mm-hmm. And he does end up getting the bag and himself out of the garbage truck. So then he's like, now I got to figure out what to do with this bag. So he ends up basically putting it in this new restaurant that he's trying to open. He's already funded it. He just needs the capital to get it up and running the way he wants it to. So he just puts something in the floor, makes it so that he has this bag to refer to later. Then we hop back and find out he was a gangster. Like in his previous life in London, he actually was somebody who was like a bodyguard. Like he would guard people. He could shoot. He could fight. He could if it was 5, 7, 8 people in the room, he would take everybody out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he was that dude. Now he's like this nice homebody dad, whatever. But his previous life.
Same thing as was that movie that I just talked about last week, Family Plan.
Oh yeah.
So it was garbage. Yeah.
So yeah, but this was good though. Yeah, so then he is doing all this stuff, helping, doing this, doing that. Well, this lady, the mind, the brain, finds out about him. And it's like, hey, I have an operation that's going to be going on, and your just name going to be Muscle. We don't care what your actual name is. Okay, your name is just Muscle. His name in Britain, by the way, is David.
Okay.
His name in America is Joe.
Okay.
So, anyway. And you wonder, like, does his partner know all of this? Like, what's going on? The whole 9 yards. So then she pulls together this organized group of the Muscle, the assassin, the officer, the
Do they just call each other by, like, what
that's
they are?
all they call each other.
They don't know each other's names. That's stolen from another movie. But
it's probably the heist.
No,
well, it was the heist because everybody was like Tokyo or Sydney or whatever.
Oh, yeah, but it was also Underground, too.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Was it Underground? Underground
sure.
6 or something like that? Yeah.
But anyway, so what ends up happening is, long story short, is that they end up pulling off, obviously, they must pull off the heist because he's already got the money. Mm-hmm. And the whole premise of everything goes from there is like back and forth. How did they pull off the heist? How did this happen? What actually happened? How did certain people make it out of the heist and other people didn't? How did he get to America? Does his partner know who he was and what he had done? Who's trying to find him now? Because what ends up happening is now, all of a sudden, anybody who made it out of the heist is mysteriously being killed by someone. So who is going around? And that's the other part to it. That's another thing in one of the first scenes is this guy like running through his house screaming, yelling. And then come to find out he gets shot in front of his Lamborghinis outside in his yard. But it's like, oh, did he get all that money too? So, so it's so good. I really enjoyed it. It's like 8 or so episodes too for a British show, which is really good because, they usually stop at 4 or 6. Yeah. So it was great. Great acting, great casting. I could have dealt with somebody else being his partner, honestly. He was just a little too blah. I don't know. It could have been another actor for that part, but everything else was amazing. Good. And that guy, he's been in some other stuff too. I just am not as familiar with him, but he's definitely somebody that, you know, if people see him, they would be like, oh yeah, I've heard of him before. I know him from. Let me see if I can see what things he's been in. He's nope, I can't figure it out. Oh, he's been in more like comedy things.
Oh, okay.
So like the Odd Squad movie, The Bet, Ryan and Allie, Oh Dear. Like he's just been in smaller parts in other movies, but I just didn't, I don't know. He was okay, but I just didn't think he was phenomenal in that role. But the main character and all the other people who were the people who were doing the heist and other people who were trying to figure out who he is as a person today and all of that, and the person who was the killer, like everybody was so good. It had twists, it had turns.
So good.
It was good.
That's good. I want to watch it. I do want to watch it.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm watching one that's similar to that right now called I can't remember that.
Yeah, but it has a lot of element. Like you figure out all these little pieces of it from the jump forwards, jump backs, jump forwards, jump backs. What do the kids know? What does the partner know? Who is he today? What's authentic? What's real? What's fake?
Yeah, I would like
what
that.
What is he doing and what is he not doing? Like, you know, and it's just like all these different elements that I am just like, I was here for it. So anyway, that is Culprits, and you can see that on Hulu in the USA. All right, what you got?
So I do have to have a correction that I have to make.
Okay.
So the Mean Girls 2 that was talked about last week.
Okay.
That came out in 2017. I didn't even know it.
Wait, did it?
Yeah. That's why it was so garbage. So now they're remaking Mean Girls. They are, and that is coming out.
Oh, so what is this one? Called Meaner Girls?
No, it's called Mean Girls, but they're remaking it. You know they can't come up with nothing new because they got to remake stuff.
Okay.
So they're remaking that. But the Mean Girls 2 was 2017. That's why it was garbage. It didn't work. Okay. So I just wanted to talk about that.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. If I messed up, I'll fix it.
Yeah, the footer. Okay, gotcha.
So I want to talk about this disgusting movie that I watched not too long ago. And it's called Saltburn.
Oh, boy.
It's good, but I was like, what am I watching?
You can't give the spoilers of the things that people will see.
I don't even want to think about it right now. God, it was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I just did full disclosure. I had found out accidentally what some of the things were that I didn't know, and so when I watched it, it didn't have the same surprise element for me as it had for you.
Okay, so if you watch the trailer tells you nothing, right?
Yeah.
And I like trailers like that. Just give me clips of the movie.
Yeah,
boom, boom,
don't
boom,
give me the whole thing.
because I don't need the whole
what do
thing.
I need to watch it for
The trailer should not just tell me everything. The trailer should not have the best part of the movie in it.
Right.
Yeah. So, watching the trailer gives you little different clips. A couple people say a couple words, blah, 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 blah. But when you watch the movie, you really don't know for sure what it's about.
Right.
And then I watched it, and when these things happen, I was like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to cut it off, but the movie was so good.
It was good. Yeah, it was slow too, but
yeah,
it was good. It was
but
weird.
I mean, literally, because it's a build-up. It's a
Yeah,
build-up.
it's a
But I
build-up.
was like, literally, like debating, am I going to turn this off? I was like, but it's so good, I want to know what happened.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah. All right, so Saltburn. So, basically, it is about a young gentleman going to, is it Cambridge? What college is
Oxford?
it? Oxford,
I
whatever.
think it's Oxford.
Yeah, going to Oxford. And he befriends some of the affluent children at said school. And from there, it gets a little weird. I mean, it gradually gets up to weird. You got about 40 minutes before it gets like really weird.
Mm-hmm. But it's the buildup of him like being awkward, being not with the cool crowd, him seeing the cool crowd, him being invited to hang out with the cool crowd, and then what that leads to.
Yeah, and then how it just how it all comes together. Mastermind
from beginning to the end. Right.
All right. So the people in the cast are Barry. Is that Cogan?
I think it's Keegan or Cogan. Cogan. I think it's Cogan.
I think it's Cogan. Yeah,
I think it's Cogan.
Maybe it's Keoghan. I don't
no,
know.
It's Cogan.
It's Cogan. Yeah. He plays Oliver, who is the main character, and then the guy that he befriends is Jacob Elordi. I don't know. He is Felix, which is the guy that he's, it's his best friend. The mother to Felix is Rosamund Pike. What kind of names are these? She is Elspeth, which is the mother. Yep. And then you have Richard E. Grant as Sir James, which is the father.
Yep.
There are some other people in there. You got Archie, who ends up playing Farley. And he's the gay role on there too. Yeah. Gay black guy. Gotta love it.
Yep. See, I'm telling you, it's got to be some everywhere. I don't know what
and
that's
then
about.
there's some other people in there, but you really don't
need
have
to start
name.
being an actress. So you will be the gay lesbian on the show.
Oh my God, Toby would be so mad at me.
Why?
She would be mad. She can be like, "You stole my thunder."
No, because she wouldn't play the gay lesbian. You would be you. But anyway, I digress. Let's stay focused. We've been unfocused enough today.
So basically, so he is the kid that nobody really talks to, who hangs out with the kids that nobody really talks to. When he first gets there, the first few seconds of it, when that guy screams at him, "Give me a some!" I was like.
He was on Game of Thrones, the newest one.
Oh, really? Okay,
he was the one with the, I didn't recognize him either until they showed him, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the guy with the white hairs. He's a Targaryen.
Oh, he's Targaryen. Okay. Yep. But yeah, so, but it's him slowly, Oliver slowly becoming friends with Felix, and all the rest of his friends, like Farley and some other people, do not like, Oliver, because it's like, look, he's on a scholarship,
right? Yeah, he's not wealthy.
Yeah, he's still making payments on his tuition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my dad doesn't drive an Aston Martin. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yes, so from there, he invites him over. Well, he gets a flat tire. Felix gets a flat tire. Oliver comes. Boom. Hey, man, look, you can take my bike. We go to the same school. He's like, oh, we do? He doesn't even recognize the kid. This is like them just starting to be friends. So then he was like, okay, yeah, you go ahead, take my bike. He brings his bike back, all good. Then he's like, oh my God, this guy saved my life. I appreciate him, while they're in a bar. And what happens, that's when Oliver becomes one of them. But then it gets more and more diabolical, because his parents are nuts.
Is that the clinical term? They're rich, and they are pretentious, and they think that they are woke, and they think that they are supporting people. Right. They think that, this lady, she's going through such a hard time. Let's just go ahead and have her live in our house, and we're just going to take care of her because she's just had such a hard time. Yeah. But then it's like she's their pet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, that's not cool.
Yeah, she was like, hey, run along and go get us some drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
She was like, wait, what?
Yeah, like, I'm a guest. What are you talking about?
And then I don't even know if they kicked her out or what. Did they kick her
basically,
out?
they kicked her out.
Yeah, they kicked her out, yeah.
They basically were like, it's time. Don't you think? Like, as soon as she opened the door to say, well, I do have a sister who blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, let's go. Bags packed, go out.
But yeah, so that they were just a little off with that. But I would say that the father is just oblivious. I feel like he just
to everything.
He knows nothing that's happening in the world. He barely knows what's happening in his home.
He's reading the paper all the time, though.
But he might not be able to read. We're going to call him Earthquake. I don't know. But look, all right. But after that, he's hanging out for was it like a spring break or something like that? What was?
It was like a fall break.
It was like a little break. He did. So the boy didn't have to go back home. He went to Felix's house, and at Felix's house, everything is like fun and partying, and it's cool, and it's like the hit place. Everybody wants to be there. But then, like, the stuff that they did, I'm like, do rich people actually do this stuff? Like, the stuff you see on TV, is like really the stuff that rich people do? Like, once you get a certain amount of money, is that when you have to start doing these things? Because I'm not going to be doing something. I'm not going to play water polo or anything like that.
Or tennis with a whole dress and heels and suit and tie and all of that kind of stuff.
If I want to run back and forth on the court, I play basketball.
Right, yeah. So
but it progressively gets weirder and weirder. Things start happening. It is a like suspenseful kind of movie, I think, because the suspense is waiting to see exactly what is going on. Oliver basically falls in love with Felix, I guess, but then falls in love with sister and does it. and then tries to fall in love with his mom. I'm surprised he didn't get to his dad. It was, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, but he wins in the end. He gets them all.
Well, I think what it is that he ends up. I think that he is the type of person who, you know, once he realizes what makes somebody tick, he's just that kind of person that can, you know, just speak to certain things that help a person to say, oh, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think there are people in the world who are like that. Probably not to the degree of him, but the things, it was... And to the point that, you know, you're really watching it from a perspective, and we're not trying to give any spoilers, but it's from a perspective of, does he love him? Is he in love with him? Does he want to be him? Does he like, what is it that is the dynamic here? And I don't know. For me personally, I'm not that person who can kind of delve into a story like that to be able to say, oh, well, this, you know, Easter egg and this clue and this whatever means that it was this, you know. So some people might get what it was actually, and some people might not.
But it is a really great movie. I love the way that it's all tied together in a nice little bow at the end.
Yeah.
That is great. It doesn't leave you hanging.
It doesn't leave you hanging. That's true.
It gives you everything. And I'm telling you, it's a really, really good movie, but it has some really, really nasty parts.
Well, it has disturbing parts.
I can't say it's disturbing because I wasn't disturbed. I was about to vomit in my mouth. That's not disturbing. That's nasty. I was not disturbed.
But, people will be on the spectrum of disturbed and feeling as though it's completely disgusting and mortifying and nasty. How about that? Yeah. Those are the scopes. And I would say that some people will probably think there are 2 to 3 scenes that are like that in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like 2 to 3 scenes.
It's 3 for sure.
Yeah, 3 for sure. But some people might not be about one of them. But I mean, most people are about all of them. But some people are like, I mean, at least I've seen in some comments, they're like, yeah, that's like a normal Tuesday. For one of them. I'll tell you that later.
I already know what part you're talking about, but God, what are these people? Oh my God, we gotta please. We got to talk about this after we are done with this podcast.
Okay, so I think this is probably all we're going to get to today in regards to our 100th podcast. We have gone off the rails for our 100th podcast.
You know what I do like? I do like how we start off with 10 topics.
We started off with 10.
Then we went down to 6.
Then we've been hitting around 5.
Now we're at like 5 and 4. Today we're at 3.
We are at 3 today, which is, but this is like a anomaly because the Katt Williams thing had to just go in a whole.
But I do like it like this because then that way it's like it feels like you're not rushing through anything. Yeah. It's just conversation back and forth. So I do like it.
I think it depends.
I think we perfected
it. Well, I don't know about that. I think that it depends because you can have some listeners who are like, enough already. Don't spoil 15 things of the whole show for me. I just want the highlights so I can go watch it myself. And then other people who are like, oh, you've piqued my curiosity enough that the rest of it I want to check out. Because like when I talked about for Culprits, I talked about it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, I literally only talked about the first episode.
Parts, the first parts of that first episode.
First parts really of the first episode. But when you try to talk through the first episode, it takes you 15 minutes to do that. Yeah. But you have a whole other series to watch of all these other elements. And the only thing I spoke to of later on was the back and forth of current and past, kind of thing.
I think that what we should do for our next podcast, we should do just Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes? Yeah. Like a quick Cliff Notes
just a thing? Quick Cliff Notes and see how it goes. See how it is.
All right. Yeah, maybe that'll be it. 101, the Cliff Note version.
Yeah. We can just call it that. We'll call it Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes.
Like or not.
Yeah, because it could be Cliff Notes of all the things that we didn't like or we liked.
Let's do that. Let's do
But see, I don't have as many things that I don't like as you do.
Just look at comedy specials. You don't laugh at anything. D.L. Hughley is funny. I
can't get with
D.L. Hughley. I don't like him at all.
I can't get with him. I can't get with Eddie Griffin. I can't get with most stuff.
Eddie Griffin is not bad. I cannot listen to Chris Rock talk. I don't know what it is about me and certain men's voices, but I don't like Will Smith.
You don't like Will Smith, and I don't like Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's voice.
Yeah. So with that slap, you didn't care either way. What happened?
No, because
you were like, I don't really
care about
feel about either one of these.
I was like, that was funny. That was it.
Gosh.
But yeah, I don't know, something about the voices, and I don't think that Chris Rock should play in any movies unless he changes his voice.
I liked him in Fargo. I liked him in a serious role in Fargo. A serious role, he was a gangster.
Yeah, he was a gangster.
And that one was good.
But he did play that off really good. He played that really good.
And I know, and maybe it wasn't the same voice because he was being more like, you know, it wasn't like the,
I don't know what it is. I don't know something about it.
All right. Anywho, everybody, thank you so much for your time and energy of listening to us go off the rails for our 100th episode. We really appreciate you all. For those of you who have stuck with us, for those of you who have tuned in, not tuned in every week, but tuned in periodically, for those of you who are just ride or die with us, we just want to say thank you. We appreciate you. And we'll keep doing it until we feel like y'all don't want it anymore. Or one of us gets bored. It'll probably be her. But anyway, I digress.
I'm with it.
But thanks, everybody. Have an amazing week, and we'll do it again next time. Bye.